let's get into some Kawhi Leonard trade packages. All right, so I've got packages for the Lakers, the 76ers, 2 packages for the Celtics, and then the Raptors. But let's reset. Let's talk about where we stand with Kawhi Leonard at this juncture. So the latest rumors are indicating that, as I've said, the Toronto Raptors could stomp in, no pun intended, and spoil the party for the Boston Celtics and the 76ers. I hope everybody got that stomp in reference, by the way. Raptors, dinosaur, Jurassic World, you get me. But this could drag on for some weeks here, especially since we know LeBron James never had Kawhi Leonard as a requirement to be in LA, which I think is a really interesting subplot to all of this. That means that LA doesn't have this sense of urgency, like, oh my God, we got to get Kawhi Leonard because that means we get LeBron. Well, no, you have LeBron now. There's no need to go crazy and get Kawhi Leonard, especially if you think you can get him in 2019 when he becomes a free agent. So the general consensus among league executives is that a deal is going to get done at some point this summer. And I've talked about it. I think it would be a major mistake for San Antonio if they don't get a deal done this summer because you lose all leverage and you get no compensation at the end of the day. Everybody's saying the Lakers. Here's the Lakers trade package right here, right now. Now, as I go through these packages, I'll give you reasons why and why not. So here's why it would work. The Lakers can eliminate the risk of losing Leonard to another team, i.e. the whole Paul George situation there, Paul George staying with the Thunder. They know they need another all-star along with LeBron to help them out because I don't think this Lakers team is NBA title worthy as we stand. Now, I'm not going to put anything past LeBron James at this point. Who knows what he can do with this team? But on paper, it's the Rockets, it's the Warriors still as top-line contenders. How serious, by the way, is Magic Johnson about building a consistent title contender? Because acquiring Kawhi Leonard would prove to the entire NBA landscape that Magic Johnson is not messing around. And I already firmly believe he's not messing around. I know he's building something right now in LA. Now, yes, the Lakers do lose Brandon Ingram in that deal that you saw on that screen, but I don't think the Spurs would listen to any offers with no Brandon Ingram involved. So I think Ingram's got to be dealt. That's what LA has to do if they want to get a deal done this summer rather than wait for free agency. Ingram's got to be in there. Now, for the Spurs, they can at least remain competitive while building for the next few years. That lineup construction, by the way, would be really interesting with Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Gay. You got Josh Hart there as well, and Aldridge too. So how that depth chart would kind of shake out would be interesting to see. Now, who says no? Lakers or Spurs to that trade package? I think a lot of people out there are actually going to say the Lakers would not do that deal because Ingram is involved. So let me know in comments. Real quick, I'm going to tell you guys why it wouldn't work. The Lakers don't have the incentive. Like I said, they can wait until the offseason next year and just sign Kawhi when he's a free agent, especially if they get some sort of promise from Kawhi that, like, all right, I'm not going to extend with whatever other team I join, and I could just join you guys in 2019. And the Lakers would be like, all right, fine. We won't do anything this year. We'll see what LeBron can do with the roster that we have at this point. And by the way, LeBron is committed for the next few years. So, I mean, there's no rush per se to get Kawhi Leonard. So this could end up being a standstill over Brandon Ingram. The Lakers may not budge. The Spurs may not budge. Unless one side backs down, I don't think a deal gets done between these two teams. Oh, by the way, does Greg Popovich really want to deal with LeVar Ball? I don't think we talk about that enough. All right, so keep that in mind too. Let's go to the Boston Celtics now. I got a couple of trade packages for them. We'll start off with trade number 1 involving Kyrie Irving and future first-round picks. The Celtics receiving Kawhi Leonard. All right, so that's trade package number 1. We'll go to trade package number 2. I'll talk about both of these deals and why they would and wouldn't work. So package number 2 here. Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier go to the San Antonio Spurs, and the Celtics get Kawhi Leonard and Patty Mills. All right, so here's why it would work in the Kyrie scenario. And somebody already saying, Logan chiming in, I hate the Kyrie trade. Well, here's why it would work. The Celtics go all in here on positionless basketball with Leonard, with Hayward, with Jaylen Brown, with Jason Tatum, and they move these guys around, they experiment a little bit, and they challenge the Warriors in the NBA Finals. All right, so that's the scenario if the Celtics trade trade Kyrie Irving and get Kawhi Leonard. All right, so that's a win-now move for the Boston Celtics, while the Spurs could lock in Kyrie long-term, considering, by the way, folks, people forget this, he picked San Antonio as one of his preferred destinations before going to the Boston Celtics. Now, in terms of the Gordon Hayward trade and the Rozier scenario as well, the Spurs can stay competitive in the West. The pairing of DeJounte Murray and Terry Rozier, I think, would be really solid. And yes, trading Gordon Hayward after the injury would be very cold on the part of general manager Danny Ainge. But just ask Isaiah Thomas, and he'll tell you that Danny Ainge can do some cold things. All right, so here's why it wouldn't work for both deals, really. The Celtics really don't need to make a deal for Kawhi. They get Kyrie and Hayward back and nearly made the finals without them. So any sort of change for Boston really doesn't make a whole lot of sense at this point. And if Boston does want to do a deal, they want to make it very draft pick heavy, not necessarily giving away the likes of Kyrie or Hayward. Meanwhile, for the Spurs, Kyrie could be a risk, and he may not want to extend with San Antonio when he becomes a free agent. Meanwhile, with Hayward, he's an injury roll of the dice as well, so nothing is guaranteed for both those players for San Antonio. All right, so who says no for either deal? Give me an A for Boston. Give me a B for the San Antonio Spurs. So two trade packages there involving the Boston Celtics. All right, so be sure to hit me up with those letters and numbers depending on what the weigh-in is. We got John chiming in the comments section. Covington, Saric, 2021 Heat pick, 2020 Sixers first rounder. That's a good trade package there for Philadelphia, John. I'm seeing a lot of Covington and Saric actually in these trade packages here. That segues us into the trade package for the Philadelphia 76ers here. Here's what I have, all right? Markelle Fultz, Saric, Bayless, TLC, and a future first-round pick. Big treasure chest there. The 76ers get, of course, Kawhi Leonard. I think I'm going to get some instant reactions from people in the comments section here on YouTube Live, on Facebook Live as well, about this trade not happening. And I don't think it will happen, but I will provide reasons why it could work. If the Spurs somehow can't convince Kawhi to stay and sign that $219 million max contract, I don't think they will, acquiring a former #1 pick and a starting forward really isn't the worst situation. Major win for the Spurs in this deal. Now, Fultz is a bit of a mystery surrounding a few things. His shot, but if he figures that out, heads up, he could be a really legit player in the NBA. And the 76ers core of Embiid and Simmons stay intact. They add Kawhi Leonard, and the process could be complete. Now, I talked about earlier in the rumor section that Markelle Fultz has not been part of trade discussions. And that's a major reason why this deal just would not work, because I don't think Philadelphia really wants to deal their former top-line pick there, which could disrupt the core that they have along with Embiid and Simmons. So reports suggest Fultz could be off limits, and without Fultz, the Spurs probably don't even ponder this deal. So the logic is the same with the LA Lakers. If Ingram isn't involved in that LA Lakers package, I don't think the Spurs consider the deal. Same can be said about Fultz and the Philadelphia 76ers. If Fultz is not involved, I don't think San Antonio even listens to the rest of the sentences that the Spurs leadership has. They just hang up the phone and say, no, we're not doing this. So there's some buzz that maybe Kawhi would consider staying in Philadelphia long term. But if the 76ers don't shell out the goods, folks, and that includes Markelle Fultz, this deal does not go down. Now, the 76ers have the 5th-ranked odds to land Kawhi Leonard. Plus 800. Raptors are in there at even money. I'll get to the Raptors trade package in a matter of seconds, but first you are watching The Cam Rogers Show, presented by Autolist. Are you looking for a new or used car out there and you're tired of browsing a million sites? Surf the largest source of inventory on the web, Autolist.com, or download their top-rated mobile app for iPhone and Android today. All right, folks, I am Cam Rogers. You can hit me up on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/CamChatSports. Like the page. I am verified. No fake news, just the real stuff and my analysis, of course, as we go throughout the NBA offseason. The NFL is heating up as well. Any golf fans out there, the British Open is next week. I'll have some stuff on Tiger Woods as well, so keep that in mind. All right, folks, let's continue on. One more trade package here for Mr. Kawhi Leonard involving the Toronto Raptors. They're checking in at even money. If you're just joining me, that's the latest Vegas odds that came through yesterday. So what is the trade package? Here you go, guys. DeMar DeRozan, OG, he's out. And Pascal's out as well. They all go to the San Antonio Spurs. The Raptors get Rudy Gay and, of course, Kawhi Leonard. So here's why it would work. Evidenced by the latest Vegas odds. The Raptors obviously are generating some buzz right now that they are firmly in the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes. And it makes sense. The Raptors want to change things around here, and they want to shake up the East. And there's a certain person who's no longer in the Eastern Conference. His name is LeBron James, who's been a thorn in the Raptors' side in years past. All right? So the Raptors are literally the happiest franchise in the East to hear that LeBron James is going to the West. Maybe the Boston Celtics, the second happiest franchise in the East. And so I think there is a very real scenario here where Toronto just comes out of nowhere and swoops in and offers a fat package for San Antonio that the Spurs leadership and R.C. Buffer just can't reject. And that's how I visualize one avenue of this Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes. Now, here's why it wouldn't work. The Raptors may just put faith in Nick Nurse to push them over the top with the likes of DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. And it's possible the Spurs see a more enticing offer elsewhere, maybe from the Boston Celtics. All right? You know, I talked about how the Lakers and the 76ers probably need the likes of Ingram and Fultz, respectively, in their deals. Well, maybe the Boston Celtics just go crazy. Danny Ainge just says, you know what? I am going to go ahead and throw in Hayward. I will throw in Hayward in a trade package. I'll pull an IT like I did the last time and trade him away after an injury just because it means I get Kawhi Leonard. All right, so something to keep in mind there with Toronto. I think they will be firmly in the running here as we go forward in these trade packages and these trade rumors with Kawhi Leonard. But one more time, they are the favorite to land the star player out of San Antonio.